Servus and greetings from Vienna. My name is Anita Posch. Thank you for listening to Bitcoin & Co., my podcast that's introducing the philosophy, ideas and people behind Bitcoin. Hello to all the Bitcoin enthusiasts and skeptics out there. I'm glad that you're listening again to my Bitcoin & Co. podcast, and I've got some news for you. First, I'm very, very happy and glad that I finally managed to put my Bitcoin podcast on a new domain, and I also split the show into 2 separate feeds. Now, you can listen to a German podcast and an English podcast, and I'll ask you to subscribe to these feeds in your podcast player. So the new domain is bitcoinandco.com. That's in German bitcoinundco.com. And I really would ask you to subscribe because I have a lot of great guests coming up. I'm going to Riga this weekend to the Baltic Honey Badger Conference. I had an interview with Max Kedun in the last weeks. It's also in my podcast feed. He's one of the organizers of the Hodl Hodl conference in Riga, and I'm really looking forward to meet a lot of great speakers there. And I'll try to bring the most interesting interviews back to you. So before we start with the interview, I also wanted to tell you about my new sponsors. It's Shift Crypto Security from Switzerland. They are the second sponsor now for my show, adding up to Coinfinity from Austria with their card wallet. And now you might think, so why does she have 2 wallet manufacturers as sponsors? I think that the Bitbox O2, which is a hardware wallet from Shift Crypto Security, and the card wallet from Coinfinity in Austria have different use cases. You use a cold storage solution like the card wallet if you just want to store and hodl Bitcoin. And if you want to do some transactions, you are better off with a hardware wallet. And both wallets are highly secure. I approached Shift Crypto Security because I feel like we care about the same things. My absolute belief is in independence. This is a value that drives all of Shift's products too. We both believe that everybody should be the holder of their own keys, and a well-built hardware wallet is the safest way to hodl your coins. So when Shift announced the Bitbox O2, we made it happen. The Bitbox O2 is Swiss-made, secure and easy to use. It has invisible touch sensors and USB-C. And it also comes as a Bitcoin-only edition. That's something I believe in too. So I encourage you to check it out at shiftcrypto.ch. That's shift, CRIPTO.ch. And you can get free shipping with the code ANITA. The Bitbox O2 by Shift Crypto Security. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Bitcoin & Co. podcast. My guests today are Anibal and Paola. Hello.
Hello, Anita.
Hello, Anita.
Hello. Great that you're here and that you have time to do this call. I got to know Anibal because he's also a member of Team Satoshi and I guess also Paola, because the two will run the Berlin Marathon on the 29th of September. And the second thing I would like to talk about with them is their relationship to Bitcoin, because I think they both maybe, or Anibal, they come from Venezuela. And so I'm very interested, and I think also our listeners are interested in the story behind. Before we start talking about all those topics, please introduce yourself.
My name is Aníbal Santaella. I am from Venezuela. We are living now in Scotland. We left the country 3 years ago. Here is my wife.
Hi, my name is Paola. Yeah, I'm from Venezuela as well. And we have been living in the UK for the last 3 years. And well, that's it.
So for me, I am a mechanical engineer. I am a runner as a hobby. Now I became an immigrant 3 years ago. I changed my career, trying to make to find a job with on Bitcoin. And Paola.
Yeah, I work as a sports with a Scottish football team.
Excuse me, I couldn't understand that you work as a sports trainer.
No, a sports nutritionist.
Understand. Interesting. And Anibal, you're an engineer?
Yes, I am a mechanical engineer.
Okay. And now in Edinburgh, what are you doing?
Since we arrived to UK like 3 years ago, I started to involve more with Bitcoin. Basically, I fell down the Bitcoin rabbit hole, and I decided to learn to find a job on Bitcoin. Okay. Now, since 2.5 years later, the things are starting to change. About engineer, I work as a project management in the past for like 10 years in Venezuela, and it helped me to understand economic, the technology, and the social aspect of Bitcoin for now.
Mm-hmm. So, and I understand that right? You left Venezuela 3 years ago.
Yes.
Yes. And what was the reason for you to leave?
Basically the political situation, obviously economic situation in Venezuela has been under a regime for the last 20 years. Like 3 years ago, we got opportunity, or my wife, Paola, had the opportunity.
Yes, I basically came to Scotland to complete a master degree. And so because of the situation in Venezuela, I mean, before the plan was to come and do the master and then go back, but it started to get worse and worse. I decided to just come and see if I could stay. So that's what I did. And yeah, so Anibal came with basically that's the reason we're in Scotland. I was meant to do this master degree, and well, we stayed.
Yes, on the other hand, to find a better life.
Yeah, sure. Of course. I mean, it's understandable.
So run away of the regime, about to get some freedom also, no?
Yeah, of course, I understand that. I mean, and how did your connection to Bitcoin start?
Okay, I heard the first time that I heard about Bitcoin was the beginning of 2014. I read the basics only about blockchain. By that time, I was working. I was earning good money. I don't know. I was profitable at my work, but one of my friends and I decided to start mining Bitcoin. We got some equipment from China, and I think I started to mine Bitcoin at the beginning of 2015. Then we left the country, but I continued mining Bitcoin there with my friends, and then we have to shut down the miners because the regime was persecuting all the miners, and I was by that time I was living here in UK, but the equipment and the little farm was like it was in Venezuela, but my friend and I decided to shut down all the equipment because the situation was so hard, the persecution, the regime against the miners started worse and worse. Then I got involved learning more while we arrived to UK. I decided to start learn more, no? Reading about the technology, economics. I I learned how to pray, how to read the chart. I learned the basic knowledge behind the Bitcoin, the social aspect. It has been like 2 years of learning. These all 3 years, no, learning about Bitcoin. That is basically my story with Bitcoin, no.
Okay. And so, like 3 years ago, the Venezuelan government forbid to mine Bitcoin.
Yes,
They didn't forbid, but they were kind of prosecuting and following and kind of intimidating all of the people that were mining Bitcoin by the time. So, for example, like they have this intelligence police, to call it, to give them a name. And yeah, so they started like following people and extortioning people that used to have these mining farms. So other people just, prefer to shut them down, and others just kept them, but they were still like perhaps paying some money to this police. And it's just a very, very complicated tropical and like the way that things are managed in Venezuela. So yeah, so I think Anibal and his friends just shut that down, just prevented themselves to get involved in something.
Do you think that was because the Venezuelan government didn't want to change the bolivar into Bitcoin?
When the last bull market started, the whole things went gone crazy about Bitcoin, and many knows all around the world. The Venezuelan regime realized about the Bitcoin because all the song of Bitcoin was mainstream for all the 2007, 2016, 2017. I think they had the idea about creating uh, their own cryptocurrency about Petro, and they they started persecuting all the miners. But basically, the national forces persecuted the miners. But when they got the miners, they always ask for like a bribe. Give me money, give me Bitcoin. Many of my friends were shut down, but um, a few of them recovered their equipment while they were paying a ride to the national force. It was funny because they were paying the ride in Bitcoin sometimes.
Interesting.
Yes.
They kidnapped the equipment.
Yeah, they kidnapped the equipment. Obviously, using guns. It was using the force because it was like the intelligent police or national forces. They are like I call them the minion of the regime, no? Something like that. But I think it was the idea behind the whole persecution is that the government, the regime, was trying to create or make money or on the mining activity for other people. But I don't know. They can handle. They they couldn't create their own cryptocurrency. It was a fail. I don't know. It never existed. The name is Petro, but many miners were shut down. Many miners.
But they took the miners for themselves, and they also took the Bitcoin as a bribe.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yes.
And so you just said you don't know anything about the Petro. So I mean, they said they are doing it, and you can buy Petro now, but you think there is nothing.
No, there is nothing. Actually, for example, I still have my bank accounts on my country on Bolivar's bank account. For example, in one of the bank, I can get online my bank accounts, and I see like they force the banks, the private banks, to create on the website Petro and Bolívares, and you can see your balance in or national currency, that is Bolivars, or in Petro. But the Petro never were created. Never. I have asked many of my friends in Venezuela if they have Petro, if I offer to buy Petro, because I want to check by myself, and nobody has told me no. It doesn't exist. It doesn't. The wallet never appears. Just was a project like paper. I remember I sent the white paper because I received it from one of my friends, like the early access to the white paper. I think it was involved with the government, and I sent it to many of my friends, but it never happened. It was all about maybe a agenda from the media, something like that, but it never happened.
I mean, they were supposed to back that Petro on our oil and then they did start something, but it never panned out. So they announced it, but they said they had, I don't know how many tokens, but they didn't put them available. And then they're very, they are not very organized. So then that, was left there in the air. And I remember after that, they started talking about Petro Gold. So it wasn't going to be back on the oil, but in the gold. And well, I think that person that calls himself president, he stated that that was going to happen, and it never did. So it's kind of, we are used to that. They speak, say a lot of stuff, so people start talking. So people start talking about it, and then they don't do anything. So it's kind of the way they act.
Does Venezuela still have oil reserves? It's a rich country by nature, or?
It has the biggest oil reserve in the world, but it's
heavy oil.
So it's all down the air.
Yeah, it costs a lot of money, the extraction process, because it's heavier. It's heavy oil, and we have
gas.
We have gas
and
gold and other minerals.
Many minerals, like from oil.
Because we have part of the Amazonia. It's a rich country in that way.
On paper.
On papers.
On paper, yeah. I mean, it's mismanaged and it's a corrupt regime.
Yes. This is the main cause, I think, because it's a mismanagement of the whole natural resources, and on the other hand, they are using those natural resources to punish the people, to control the people, to keep the regime in power. They are selling the gold to Turkish better prices. They are using the oil to buy support from other countries. For example, for all the Caribbean countries, there are small countries. In Venezuela, they used to give them oil in exchange for support to those present. They are like small countries with a small GDP, basically that the regime has been doing with our resources.
Before we continue, a short message from my longtime show supporters at Card Wallet. Thank you. We'll be back soon. Do you want to keep your Bitcoin safe long term? The Card Wallet is the best cold storage solution a retail customer can get. It's easy to use and completely offline. No hassles with updates, passwords, or hacks. I gave one to friends as a wedding gift. They are Bitcoin newbies, but with the Card Wallet, even they can hodl Bitcoin securely. And the best thing is, my friends at cardwallet.com made a special offer for all the listeners of my podcast. If you go to www.cardwallet.com/Anita, you'll get 20% off the price. So go to www.cardwallet.com/Anita now and buy a card wallet with a 20% discount. Are people actually using Facebook in Venezuela?
Yes. The media, I mean, all the social media is available, but and Twitter and everything is available. You can use social media, but there has been many cases, especially on Twitter, of like, I don't know, let's say any person, I don't know, me, who they decided to write something against the government or something that was, out of the line or whatever, and they have been taken as political prisoners. So it could happen to you, but perhaps it doesn't. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how they choose who are they going to mess with. So people just, try to be careful. But actually, social media, especially Twitter, since we don't have. I mean, there are TV channels, but those TV channels are all controlled by the regime. Twitter is actually the place where everybody talks. So all the news and it's like a little world in there on Twitter. And also even now there is a new. So for example, like podcasts and web shows and all of that is getting very, very popular because TV is just like they just put like very stupid programs or things that are not important. So podcasts and web shows have become really, really, really popular in the country. So people are trying to do their own thing, and they usually get these like Patreon accounts, and other people supports them. Like a lot of people that are living outside the country. So that's how the media is. Like the internet is actually what we have left to use. But sometimes it could be tracked. It's just a matter of luck, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Now, I was asking because of Libra, if you heard anything about the Venezuelan government saying about Libra.
Oh, yes, the people in Venezuela is aware about Libra. But
who knows if that's going to work?
Yeah,
because,
you're right.
In Venezuela, you cannot use PayPal.
Yes.
You cannot. You cannot access to that because we have this exchange control. So it might be the same if Libra actually happens.
Okay, so what is the situation? You say you can't use PayPal, so you cannot pay anything outside. You cannot buy something online in the US or in Europe.
No, because the regime imposed control exchange like 12 years ago, something like that. And since then, we can get access to exchange our currency with other currencies in the world. We don't have access to buy in Amazon. We don't have access. We don't have a market in Amazon for bolívares. We don't have access to PayPal. We don't have access to other kind of payment service like this, because the government banned that the people can exchange our currency with other currency in the world. It was to avoid the capital flights of the country when the hyperinflation started to arise like 10, 12 years ago.
So, but then Bitcoin would be a possibility.
Yes.
But how dangerous is it to use Bitcoin in Venezuela?
Now I think like the waters are calm in that aspect and it's not too dangerous. But maybe if, for example, is one of my point of view, if Bitcoin start to move to higher prices, the regime will be alert again, because it make a lot of noise. But now, like the market is many people, not many, but few people in Venezuela use Bitcoin. I use Bitcoin to send to interchange with my friends in Venezuela to get bolivares. To, for example, I send money to my dad that still living in Venezuela. For example, I so Bitcoin for bolivares is easy sometimes I can exchange. The only way that I can exchange dollars or euros or pounds for Bolívar if we have a friend is peer-to-peer market, no? Because I have to find a friend in Venezuela that okay, I want to buy $2 or I want to buy Bitcoin. Usually, like two or once a month, I change some satoshis to send money to my father.
And it's interesting that you ask that because so for example, in Venezuela there is no money transfer or Western Union because it's not allowed. And so the government do have an exchange house, an exchange business, but of course no one will send money through that because they will put that money on their own exchange rate, which is not the real one. So there are a lot, that I know, there are 2 or 3 companies that will, like for example, let's say I want to send money to my family. I go to their webpage, I put the Venezuelan account that I want to send money to, let's say I want to send them £100. So then they send me like a bank account. I will deposit them those £100, and they will put the bolivares on my relative account. But they do all of that through it. So that's how they do it. So basically, a lot of people have built their own businesses to get some, to allow us to send money to our relatives for us.
I didn't understand everything. You said you sent £100 to a bank account.
What I'm saying is that people have built businesses in which they use Bitcoin to help you send your money to people in Venezuela.
Okay, like agents.
Exactly. Yeah. But they do all of this through Bitcoin.
I understand. Oh, that's great. Okay, so Bitcoin is actually the only possibility for you to send money to your family.
Basically,
yes. It's the one of the Yes, it is. Yes, I used to solve once or two a month from one of my friends in Venezuela. For me, it's like easy because I am deep involved with Bitcoin. But for the regular people, for example, there are that kind of company that Paola say there are like a change in that people build in Venezuela and they are using Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm. And do you think that the situation will change? Do you have no hope anymore?
No. I think, yes, we have hope. Yeah, but it has been 20 years now. And I think it will take time. It will take time because it's not easy to break down 20 years of our regime. It has been damaged the society. No, not only the country infrastructure, but the mentality of the people. And mostly the people with less option. With lower income, the people with less education, and it's hard to change that. But I think it will change. It will change. I don't know, but it's so difficult to say.
Well, we will always have hope. Realistically and very objectively, things are happening, but sometimes we get ahead of ourselves and we get very excited, and then it's a big disappointment, and that has happened to Venezuelans like many times. So you really get excited because something finally happened and then it doesn't. So emotionally, that's been really hard because like you recover, it's like you're recovering for a heartbreak, many, many, many times, and you go again and you live again. So, but finally, at this precise moment, things are moving, perhaps in the direction of the regime, perhaps finding themselves with less options because of the pressure of the international community. And the United Nations already declared that we live in a humanitarian crisis, things that they didn't do before. So things are changing, but it's really important to us not to get ahead of ourselves. I think it will take perhaps more time. I don't know. And then after, whenever this dream will have happens, about the current regime leaving, then we need to be aware that it will take a lot of time to recover as a society, and then the social aspect will be really hard to recover, and of course the economic aspect takes time. Perhaps will get worse before we can get back on track.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I hope for the best for you and for your country. And now to something that's a little bit more fun, let's say that. You're also running the Berlin Marathon now for the Team Satoshi. How did that start?
Yeah. Well, we love to run, and I think for me it's like quite exciting because I love running, and wow, now I am so passionate with Bitcoin. Um, to combine both activities in one, it's like a dream. No, I have been running for 9, 10 years, something like that, and we are especially this marathon. We have been planning this marathon for 2 years. Because we had the plan to run the last year, actually, but we can make it. We can make it, and we have delayed for this year. And now we are training, and for example, how I got the opportunity to meet Satoshi Vitus. I have to say thanks to Andreas Antonopoulos because he was the person that connect us. I was German and talk about me because we we thought we met in London and then in Edinburgh. And Andrea was on Berlin and commented about me to Vitus. Vitus, a couple of days later, text me. Yeah, it was a pleasure. We have like a live thing. We know each other. We knew each other. We he told me about Satoshi, the I comment about the Berlin Marathon, and we decided to make it like a challenge of King Satoshi. And Paola, she also is a runner, and obviously are like this is what is linked with her profession that he is a sport nutritionist. Also, one of the things that I want to say, for example, Paola has patients. Paola offers her consultant service about nutrition for many of athletes, and she receives payment in Bitcoin, and it's amazing, no? From Venezuelan people and from people around the world, but also
in order to keep my Venezuelan athletes that I worked with when I was there, of course they cannot pay me in pounds or in dollars, and I will not accept bolivares. And so yeah, so Bitcoin has been the way that I whenever, I offer my services and they pay me.
Yeah, that's great. So they pay you in Bitcoin.
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
Well, I
super.
have 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm. Cool. That's great. So, yeah, I also heard the story from Vitus. He told me how he got to know you, and that it has been Andreas Antonopoulos. They met in Munich, and they were talking about Team Satoshi. And then Andreas suggested you as a marathon runner.
Yeah, this is one of the most amazing things because, Bitcoin is a network, but I had the opportunity to meet Andreas, Vitus, you, Anita, and other people, and it's amazing. I don't have word to
I think
say over that because I have met people all around the world thanks to Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's same for me. And also with you too, like Anibal and Paola, thank you very much. I would love to see you running in Berlin, but I only come to Berlin in October to the Lightning Conference. But I guess I will see you online, tweeting and making pictures of you, and we will run with you in our minds.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
we need your support, the community support.
Yeah, of course, and you have that.
I have a question for you. How was the Satoshi event that you participated in?
Oh, the triathlon, it was great. I mean, it was exhausting and very, how shall I say, it was an adventure. It was a great adventure. All of it at the same time. It was an organizational effort. It was a team effort. And I really liked the fact that we did that together and just to raise awareness, positive awareness through sports for Bitcoin. And we had a great resonance also, I think, in the media, like the Bitcoin magazine wrote about us and CoinDesk. And I think also tomorrow, many people are doing their run for Halfini. And I think that will be a great event too. I think the Bitcoin community has never seen something like that before.
Yeah, like sports and
no.
It's a great thing, I think.
Yes, it's a great thing. It's an opportunity to bring the community together, and while we honor Halfini, maybe the people have the opportunity to I don't know, be outside, have some balance, because I think sometimes the people spend too many hours behind the screen.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, for us it's normal because we are a runner. We have been running for 10 years, but I know that many people got stuck behind the screen.
Thank you. Thank you both for this interview. We have to wrap it up now. And I wish you all the best for the next weeks. And I'm sure we will meet again somewhere.
Thank you, Anita.
Thank you, Anita. Thank you. We will be running the marathon by the end of the month, September. And then we will go to Munich. I think we will meet Vitus there and some of the community there. And I hope to see you in the future, or to meet you in the future. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate your support with this interview.
Yeah, thank you very much too. And bye-bye. Have a nice evening.
Bye, you too.
Bye.
So thank you for listening. And please remember to check out the BitBox02 hardware wallets. Free shipping with the code ANITA at shiftcrypto.ch. 2 editions, both Swiss-made, including a Bitcoin only. What can I say? I'm a fan. That's it for today. Thank you for listening. What did you think of the interview? Did it bring you greater understanding of Bitcoin and its people? If yes, and if you want to support my show, please subscribe to the podcast in your player, leave some stars and share on social media. Feel free to contact me on Twitter, LinkedIn and YouTube, or send me a voice message via the link on the episode page. Goodbye from Vienna. Auf Wiederhören. Music, Start With Yes, Delicate Beats. Idea, content and production, yours truly, Anita Posch.